Hey guys, welcome to my mock draft 1.0, my one and only mock draft. Um, I've watched a lot of prospects, probably close to 100. I love it, I enjoy it, but really waited this long to get a feel of what's going to go down, how I feel about what's going to go down, and who I think's going to go where, all that jazz. So let's just get right into it. So number one, I've got I'm kind of chickening out here. I have kind of been holding strong to CJ Stroud going one pretty much the entire process. I'm still saying it would not shock me if he does go one, but for right now, I'm just gonna go with Bryce Young, chickening out. Sorry about that. Number two. So the thing about Bryce Young is, yes, he's probably the best at playing quarterback at this moment, but he's small. You can't get around that, and he's good about chaos around him in the pocket, but the very second there's a guy barreling down, coming straight for him, he kind of short arms his throws, and to me that's kind of discouraging. But then again, I'm not great at evaluating quarterbacks. I love Josh Rosen, so take that for what you will. Bryce Young, he kind of reminds me of Baker Mayfield. It's because they're both short. Bryce is shorter. Bryce can create more than Baker, but Baker was not a statue at college. And Baker could throw over the middle for a short quarterback. That was one of his best things. It was he was able to process and anticipate, just like Bryce. Um, but you kind of saw Baker, his effectiveness over the middle in the NFL kind of dwindle. But so yeah, I got Bryce Young at one. Number two, I got Will Anderson going. Will Anderson has the highest floor of anyone in this draft. Not the highest ceiling, but the highest floor. He'll just be a solid 8 to 12 sacks a year player. Good player. Think D'Amico Ryans wants that tone setter for his defense. So we're going to see Will Anderson at 2. Number 3, with the Cardinals. I am trading this pick to the Titans. What is it going to take? Let's see. What is this thing gonna let me? Here we go. So to trade, you're gonna have to give up your first this year, obviously, the first next year. Let's just say the second next year. We'll say it's the second this year. See if they'll take that. All right. So we got Tennessee at 3. I've really thought this would happen for a while. Honestly, I thought there's 2 teams who could trade up to 3 to take quarterback. Tennessee and Las Vegas. I don't think anyone else is trading up for a quarterback, so I got Tennessee here. And so with Tennessee, I'm going to take CJ Stroud. I think if you look at the quarterbacks they've liked in the past, Tennessee, they like quarterbacks that will be smart with the ball. They're not hasty to make decisions. They don't want the guy with the big arm who will just throw it out there because he thinks he can make the throw, a la Will Levis. CJ Stroud, he's so accurate. He's almost like a Ryan Tannehill. He's accurate. He makes smart decisions. The test scores, it's not a huge deal for me. I think it's interesting to keep tabs on as we further evaluate quarterbacks. But honestly, he's my quarterback 1 in this class. I think he's super accurate. I think he's good under pressure, despite what everyone says. Look at Notre Dame game. Look at Michigan game. Look at Georgia game. I think there's enough to say CJ Stroud is a high-level NFL quarterback. Will it result in a change of wins for them? I don't know, but I don't think they're going to be high enough to get Caleb Williams next year if they start Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. So I got CJ Stroud here at 3 to the Titans. Number 4, Colts. So now if you're the Colts, you got the choice of Anthony Richardson and Will Levis because they're taking a quarterback. If it was me, I'm taking Anthony Richardson. Who do the Colts value? If I look at who Shane Steichen just had, I see Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson are very similar. Anthony Richardson was a better prospect out of college. He's got a better arm. I think he has better pocket presence than what Jalen Hurts had. I'm taking Anthony Richardson here for the Colts. So number 5 for the Seahawks. So for the Seahawks, the thing Daniel Jeremiah said, he's heard half teams say Seahawks are taking Jalen Carter and half the teams say Seahawks aren't taking Jalen Carter. It's a bit. It's probably honestly, I think this is probably the toughest pick in the draft so far. I'm taking Jalen Carter. He's the best player in the draft by far. So Jalen Carter to the Seahawks. For the Lions, you traded Jeff Okudah for this type of like flexibility for your pick. I think they take the top corner available, which is Devon Witherspoon. He can play corner, and if that doesn't work out, you can play him at safety. I think that he's just overall. I think he's a top 3 player in this draft. Honestly, Raiders at 7. So Raiders, you have Chandler Jones, you have Max Crosby. You don't need Tyree Wilson. He's a really good player. You could use offensive linemen, sure, but that defense was horrendous last year. They're the reason why they lost so many games. I'm taking Christian Gonzalez here. I think he's a solid corner. He's my number 2 corner. He's a good cornerback. Very smooth, very agile, very big, much bigger than Witherspoon. His ceiling might be higher than Witherspoon just because he's taller and longer. But I'm going Christian Gonzalez here for the Raiders. Number 8 for the Falcons. I know everyone wants to put Bijan here. Tyler Algier is a good running back. And I'm thinking if you're going to run the ball, that's fine. But the defense still doesn't have enough to stand up if you're a running team. I know they took the edge out of Penn State last year in the second round, Arnold Ebiketie, I believe. So I'm taking Tyree Wilson here just because I think with what they added in Jeff Okudah as well as Bud Dupree, they gave themselves some flexibility. But if I was them, I'm still taking an edge. So I'm taking Tyree Wilson here. Sorry, Bijan. Number 9 for Chicago Bears. I think Chicago's taking a tackle. It's all about which one. And I think pretty much my favorite tackle is Darnell Wright. They're not taking Darnell Wright. It really is tough. I do think that they take Paris Johnson Jr., whether he plays left or right tackle, have at it. I know they got that left tackle last year who actually played pretty well. But I think they take Paris Johnson Jr. here. I think he's NFL evaluators' favorite tackle, just based on his physical tools. He's not my favorite. He was kind of inconsistent in college, but I think Chicago goes that route. Philadelphia. I've heard rumblings that they're considering taking Bijan. In my opinion, they're a team that can afford it. But with how the board fell here, pretty much how it's going to fall, you've got so many high value options on the offensive or defensive line, and I don't think they pass that up. I think they go Broderick Jones here. He can play at a high level at tackle or guard. Very athletic, very strong, and I like Broderick Jones a lot. So I have him here at 10. He's my tackle number 2. Cardinals. So here they're probably hoping for Broderick to fall. So this was a run on tackles, and I think it's going to keep on going. So they see Bijan, they see Myles Murphy, and they can get receiver help for Kyler, but he wants offensive linemen desperately. So if you look at the offensive linemen available, you're going tackle. There's Anton Harrison, there's Darnell Wright, there's Peter Skoronski. I think they go left tackle, and honestly, Anton Harrison's the only one there, but I don't think he's valued that high. I think NFL is higher on him than most evaluators, but I don't see Anton Harrison going until maybe like 14 to the Patriots. But Cardinals, I think they take, it's either Skoronski or Wright. I think they take, we'll go with Skoronski. I'm not a huge Skoronski guy, but the NFL's higher on him than I am. Now for the Texans, who took Will Anderson at 2. This is just how the draft fell. From what I heard, and if you look at the betting odds, Houston likes Will Levis. So I really do think that if Will Levis is there at 12, Houston takes him. So that's what I'm going to do. Will Levis to Houston at 12. 13 to the Packers. In the Packers' mind, this is probably the best options for them because you have guys like Myles Murphy, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Nolan Smith, Darnell Wright. These guys, and Brian Branch even, like these guys are really, I would feel high on their board. So I think they take Jackson Smith-Njigba here. They need to help out Jordan Love if they're seriously going to give him a do-or-die year. 14 for the Patriots. So I'm looking at the board. There's a lot of good players, a lot of good offensive linemen, defensive. I I can't get it out of my head. Lucas Van Ness is such a Patriot player to me, so I have him going here at 14. I'm not a huge Lucas Van Ness guy. He's definitely athletic, definitely has a lot of good traits, but he doesn't know what he's doing. I compared him to a wrecking ball, but it's the operator's first day. So he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he might destroy a building or he might take out a perfectly constructed building that wasn't related to the job at all. Um, so I have Lucas Van Ness going to the Patriots at 14. 15 for the Jets. Jets, they can go multiple routes. I think, looking at the board, I think they want to go offensive line here. And if you look at the tackles available, Darnell Wright's still there, Anton Harrison, um, DeJuan Jones. I think they go Darnell Wright. Let me just double check, see if there's anything else that's noticeable. I mean, there's lots of edge players available, but they have Jermaine Johnson. Carl Lawson, I thought was going to get out of there, but he's not out yet. So, I mean, they got their quarterback. They're going to want to protect Aaron. This is a tough one. I think they go pass rusher or tackle here. In my opinion, I love Darnell Wright. I don't know how high they are on him, but Nolan Smith is also up there. I think Robert Saleh would want a bigger edge guy than Nolan Smith and not quite as big as Murphy. Murphy's kind of a big edge. I'm taking Darnell Wright here for the Jets. Number 16 for the Commanders. I feel like it's the worst kept secret that the Commanders are just desperate for a corner in this draft. It somehow came this way where Deonte Banks is available for them at 16. He's a great cornerback. He's cornerback 3 for me. He's just well built, super fast, great athlete, very physical. So I have him going here to Washington. Now for the Steelers, they want offensive linemen so bad, and I think that they lost out with Darnell Wright going high. This is a situation where draft day, I can kind of see Jets and Steelers swapping. Like maybe the Jets aren't that high on Darnell Wright, but they know the Steelers desperately want him, so they do a swapperoo. But in this instance, like looking back, I probably would have done that. But in this instance, Jets stay with Darnell Wright. Steelers, if Darnell Wright isn't available, I don't think they go Anton Harrison. I think they go corner because Joey Porter Jr., he speaks Steeler. I know his dad played for the Steelers, I believe, so that just makes so much sense. We're going with Joey Porter. Lions at 18. See, Bijan is still on the board here. They got Devon Witherspoon already. If you get Devon Witherspoon and Bijan, I'm not a huge Bijan guy, but I know the NFL is. But Nolan Smith is still on the board here. Myles Murphy. This is where it's tough. I don't think the Lions pass up on Bijan their second time around. I think the Lions take Bijan. I know they signed David Montgomery. I know they have DeAndre Swift, but I don't think he's going to be there long. Bijan Robinson, he's honestly a better Jamal Williams. I love Jamal Williams. I loved him coming out of BYU. He had great vision, but he didn't have that breakaway speed. That's kind of what Bijan is. He has great vision. Really good at cutbacks, really good at those shifts and things like that. Kind of has that Le'Veon Bell shake move type deal. His speed isn't elite though. So I got Bijan here at 18. Number 19 to the Lions. Number 19 to the Bucks. I think if he's there, they take him. They run the card up. Nolan Smith going to the Buccaneers at 19. Number 20, Seattle Seahawks. So everyone's saying Seahawks looking for another receiver to pair up. And if you look at the receiver core, they have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. They took Jalen Carter in this draft. Myles Murphy is there. Myles Murphy makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not going to go that route. I feel like if you look at the wide receivers available, you still have Zay Flowers. You still have Quentin Johnson available. I do think that goes Zay Flowers in this. I'm taking Zay Flowers for them. Zay Flowers is my wide receiver 1. I don't think the NFL is as high on him as I am. People like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a good receiver. I just think he's limited. Zay Flowers, I think, has the legit ability to be a number one receiver. And so the Seahawks take him here to pair with DK Metcalf. Number 21 for the Chargers, who desperately want Zay Flowers or Bijan, and both of them go right before them. That sucks. Let's see on defense. Is there any corners available? I don't think that there's a corner this high. No, there's no corners this high that I think they'd be okay with taking. They're not going to take an edge right now. I think they could use a defensive tackle a lot. This could be a possible Jahmyr Gibbs slot. If I'm the Chargers, I'm not doing that. I mean, you literally got Eckler in undrafted free agency. That should be a lesson to you. You don't need to draft a running back in the first round. You can look at other wide receivers like Addison or Johnston or Hyatt or Downs. Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer. This is tough. I think for me, it comes down to wide receiver and defensive tackle. Are they higher on Brian Brzee or a Jordan Addison or such? I think if you're going to go receiver, you need more speed than all these guys offer. I'd rather just take like a Trey Palmer later in the draft or a, where is he? Tyler Smith later in the draft. So I think on defense, you go for a defensive tackle that can help you shore up that run more. So in this, it's down to Brian Brzee or Mozzie Smith for me. I really like Mozzie Smith. I think they will too. So I'm going to take Mozzie Smith here. Number 22 for the Ravens. I know I've heard a lot of people say like Brian Branch here, but somebody said that they're working on a deal for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know about that, but I don't see a receiver going here right now. I don't think they're taking a Hendon Hooker right here. Looking around, this is I think this is a tough pick for them, honestly. They could go a lot of places. To me, it's just such a Ravens thing to go either Brian Branch or Miles Murphy. They just feel like they stockpile on these edges all the time, and then after like 4 years, they go to another team and don't perform as well as they did on the Ravens. I think with the value here, I don't think they pass up Miles Murphy. So I'm going Miles Murphy right here at 22. 23 for the Vikings. They desperately want a corner here. I know a lot of rumblings about Hendon Hooker. Do not take Hendon Hooker here. The man is a senior. He's so old. And to see his level of inaccuracy at his age, to me, is a red flag. Could take Jahmyr Gibbs here. I wouldn't touch offense. Like, you could get a receiver to pair up with Justin Jefferson, even though KJ Osborne is pretty solid. You could get you could go guard if you really want to. I don't think you need to. To me, it's down to Brian Branch or like Brian Brzee or Kalijah Kancey. I think they'd love to have Miles Murphy here, but this is a tough one. So I think it's Brian Branch or Brian Brzee or Kalijah Kancey. I think they're going to need more interior pass rush. So for that, I'm taking Kalijah Kancey. I like Kalijah Kancey a lot. I think he's the best pass rushing interior player except for Jalen Carter in this draft. I think he's being very undervalued just because his arms aren't that long. But here we are with the Jags at 24. Jacksonville Jaguars, 24. Gonna take. Who are they gonna take? So before last night, I probably would have said Brian Branch. But last night it dropped that our left tackle, but he's not really our left tackle because he got hurt and our backup was playing and started really well. So he's going to be a starter. But we need a right tackle now. So our left tackle is out. He got suspended for a couple games for PEDs. So with that, I think it has to be offensive tackle almost. Just because, not because I think it's the best available, but the drop off from, say, like the Jags don't need a safety, they need a nickel, which you can find a good nickel in this draft in like the 5th or 6th round even. It's not that hard. I love Will McDonald. I would say Will McDonald here. I don't even care. I would take Will McDonald. But there's lots of edges in this draft. I don't think anyone's as good as these that are available right now. I mean, obviously, but I think there is a deep drop off after the first round of edges. Like after Enrique Uzama, I think it's a huge drop off on edges. I'm not taking defensive tackle here. I think it's going to be offensive tackle. And it's down to Anton Harrison or Dawand Jones. Me personally, I would take Dawand Jones. I know they love length on their players. Anton Harrison has length. He's a starter, but he was starting at left tackle. It depends on how you think they transition. For some reason, the NFL is low on Dawand Jones, and I don't get it. I think in this situation, they love the flexibility that Walker Little can play right or left tackle, and they think Anton Harrison might be able to play both as well. I feel like Dawand Jones is just a right tackle. I'm going to go with Anton Harrison here. I would take Dawand Jones over him, but that's just what I think Jags will do. So with the Giants at 25, I don't think this is that hard for them, honestly. Like, there's lots of good receivers available. There's Quentin Johnson available, Jordan Addison. But I do think they value Brian Branch here, and so I'm going to take Brian Branch. Not a pick I see a lot, to be honest. Maybe there's something I'm missing about your roster, but that's what I'm taking here for the Giants at 25. 26, I got the Cowboys. Cowboys now have their pick of quite a good bit of talent. I mean, we have lots of edge rushers, we got lots of tight ends, we got lots of wide receivers. There's a lot of hype for Will McDonald to the Cowboys. There's a lot of hype for Mayer or Kincaid to the Cowboys. I don't see Addison going there. Could be wrong. I feel like they always like Texas dudes. So you got Quentin Johnson here. I don't think they go receiver with after acquiring Brandon Cooks. I don't think they go receiver this high. I think it comes down to McDonald or a tight end. Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer. I'm not a Michael Mayer guy. The NFL is. I think I feel like Jerry Jones is gonna be like he's Jason Witten. Get him. And the front office is gonna be like, but Will McDonald is right there. This is tough. I gotta say, I think I'm taking Will McDonald. He's just so good. I'm taking Will McDonald here for the Cowboys. For the Bills, I think they need a receiver to pair with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Those are both. Well, Gabe Davis is a big dude. Gabe Davis is kind of Quentin Johnston, actually. He's not. He doesn't. Okay, he's not Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston has better like short area quickness than him, but they're both big dudes who have speed. I don't know. I feel like it's the worst kept secret that they're going after a receiver here. I mean, you could go O'Cyrus Torrence, not a huge Cyrus Torrence guy, or Dawand Jones. I mean, Jordan Addison and Quentin Johnson intrigue me, and I think I'm gonna go Addison. I think he would just fit Josh Downs. I feel like Josh Downs is a perfect fit here. Honestly, that's tough. Josh Downs reminds me of like Julian Edelman. He's Julian Edelman. He's a small guy. He's fast. But if you throw a jump ball up, he's going to go get it. He's going to go get it. To me, that's Julian Edelman. Also kind of reminiscent of like a Cole Beasley, which worked very well with Josh Allen. I think Jordan Addison, people compare him to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was faster. I like Jordan Addison, though. He's a solid route runner. He's a good player. I think Josh Allen would like Jordan Addison. But Josh Downs as well. It wouldn't shock me if Josh Downs goes here. So Jordan Addison here at 27. Now we have the Bengals. Bengals. To me, it's tight end. Not hard. It's a tight end. But which one? Kincaid or Mayer? If I am the Bengals, I am running the card up there for Kincaid. Kincaid is the best tight end in this class. He's Travis Kelce-esque. He has great like spatial awareness. He knows where everyone is and where to fit in the zone. The Bengals taking Dalton Kincaid here. Saints at 29. So looking at what's available, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I feel like Brian Brzee is just their perfect prospect. He remind it's like they like to take these like defensive tackle type prospects and play them at edge. Now Cameron Jordan's made a career off of it. He's like a huge edge player. I get that, but I think Brian Brzee fits that mold even better for the Saints. So I think they take Brian Brzee. I think he's just their perfect prospect. Now we got the Eagles at 30. I feel like this is a possible Jahmyr Gibbs destination. They took Broderick Jones earlier, right? So on defense, do we have any edges available that I like? I like BJ Ojolari a lot. Will he sneak up this high? I don't think so. Defensive tackle, there's not a lot there either. I could see linebacker going here. This is a good spot for Jack Campbell in my opinion. So it's all about, do I want to take Jahmyr Gibbs? I think this one, yeah, I think in my opinion it comes down to Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell. And I think it's going to be Jack Campbell. They need the linebacker help. I know they have Nakobe Dean, but Nakobe Dean is more of I think he's a weak side linebacker more than a Mike. So I'm taking Jack Campbell to be Mike there. So the final pick of the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Who will they take? My opinion, I think there's a possibility it could be Jahmyr Gibbs. It could be Quentin Johnston. Jalen Hyatt would just be scary. Also, I feel like the Chiefs are going to make a hard push for Zay Flowers if he falls past 14. Like, if the Patriots don't take Zay Flowers, which there's a lot of rumblings they want Zay Flowers. In my mock, he fell to 20 to the Seahawks, but if he gets past the Patriots at 14, I think the Chiefs try and make a huge jump for him. But in this case, I didn't do it. Chiefs here, they got Quentin Johnston available. They got Jahmyr Gibbs available. DeJuan Jones. See, I can see DeJuan Jones because they got Jawan Taylor, but they're starting him at left tackle. So I think it would help a lot to have a quality right tackle. And it's tough because I also think B.J. Ojolari has Chiefs written all over him, and they don't have pass rushers besides Karlaftis. So for me, it comes down to DeJuan Jones or B.J. Ojolari. That's a tough. I have a higher grade on DeJuan Jones, but I don't know if the NFL does. I honestly doubt it. So I'm taking B.J. Ojolari here for the Chiefs. And yeah, so that is my mock draft. It was, yeah, so trying to see if I can see them. So just to recap: 1, Bryce Young to the Panthers. 2, Will Anderson to the Texans. 3, Titans trade up and take C.J. Stroud. 4, Anthony Richardson to the Colts. 5, Jalen Carter to the Seahawks. 6, Devon Witherspoon to the Lions. 7 is Christian Gonzalez to the Raiders. 8 is Tyree Wilson to the Falcons. 9 is Paris Johnson Jr. to the Bears. 10 is Broderick Jones to the Eagles. 11, after trade back, Cardinals take Peter Skoronski. 12, Will Levis to the Texans. 13, Jackson Smith-Njigba to the Packers. 14 is Lucas Van Ness to the Patriots. 15, Darnell Wright to the Jets. 16, Deonte Banks to Washington. 17, Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers. It's not showing me the whole. Oh, here we go. 18 is Bijan Robinson to the Lions. 19 is Nolan Smith to the Bucks. 20 is Zay Flowers to the Seahawks. 21 is Mozzie Smith to the Chargers. 22 is Miles Murphy to the Ravens. 23 is Kalijah Kancey to the Vikings. 24 is Anton Harrison to the Jacksonville Jaguars. 25 is Brian Branch to the Giants. Will McDonald to the Cowboys at 26. 27, Jordan Addison to the Bills. 28, Dalton Kincaid to the Bengals. 29, Brian Brzee to the Saints. 30, Jack Campbell to the Eagles. 31, B.J. Ojolari to the Chiefs. What do you guys think? If you watch this whole thing, thank you so much. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But if you think I was stupid for putting a certain player with your team, let me know. Let me know why. I kind of want to know this stuff before the draft happens. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks.